I'll go ahead and hit record now. All right, we are recording. So, Kaya, I'll give you a little background story about Study Abroad Association, what we do, and how we assist colleges and universities. So we started in 2009, and with the main purpose of getting more American students and faculty traveling abroad and having international experiences. Everything we do is customized. So we spend a lot of time sitting with the faculty to make sure that the course the program that we develop really is in sync with their trip goals, with the course that they want to offer to their students, to allow the course kind of to come to life. While doing that, our main focus is to make sure that it's as in depth as possible, but also the best value, which means that, more students are going to be able to access the program. So it'll be more successful. The class will make, the trip will make, and students that thought, hey, study abroad might be out of reach for me, that they realize like, hey, actually this is within reach for me. Little background story. I was an international exchange student. I was a Rotary exchange student. I fell in love with Slovakia after the experience. I went back to my university there for 4 years and then moved to the States. And that's when we started Study Abroad Association in 2009. We work now with 133 colleges and universities across the country, from small rural schools to some very large institutions like Valencia College or Miami-Dade or 4-year state colleges and universities. So we understand all sides of it. And most importantly, we're here for you to listen to what you want to achieve and to bring that to life for you and assist you in developing the optimal program. So that's a little background story. Our team is made up of account managers, international travelers, and expert on-ground teams in 24, more or less around 24 countries, Belize being one of those. So we're always working with experts in the field and sharing information, sharing resources, and just kind of being an external part of your internal team to help you guys achieve your international educational goals. That's the short version. So I would love to find out a lot more about what you teach, what you're envisioning, and what your goals are for your program.
So I teach sociology. So the course that I am thinking of aligning with a study abroad trip would be Principles of Sociology, which is basically an introductory course. And the content focuses on exploring culture, looking at like issues like race, class, gender, socialization, deviance. So it covers a lot of topics, but within the course, students usually do a research project because they're also being introduced to sociological theories and research methods. Great. So my idea is in the course to introduce the concepts, topics, and then the trip to Belize, as I have it laid out currently, would include like a research piece of it. And I've reached out to, I'm not sure if you are familiar with them, but Tide Believe in the Toledo district of Belize. Yeah. So they already created kind of an itinerary for me in terms of how students would put together a survey, go into the community, and collect data. And then I envision when they return, they can kind of present and talk about what they found in Belize versus an American context. And this course would be paired with a history course. And the history course would be focusing on Latin American history with an emphasis on Central America. Mostly because Belize also has the Maya population still, and they are very dominant in the southern region, which this would be happening in.
Correct.
So one of the days would also include like a homestay to interact and kind of experience Maya culture.
Yep.
So they get the research, and then they also get to experience the cultural day-to-day life of a native group to that region.
Brilliant. I love it. Yeah, this is beautiful. A beautiful program idea. And the Toledo district have you been to the Toledo district?
Yeah, I've been my husband is actually from Belize and from that area. So I've been about 5 times. And
Great.
I have done like the visit to the traditional Maya village and had the experience myself. So for me, it's really like trying to have students be put into that environment, because yes, while they have beautiful beaches and like a lot of outdoor things, they still have like this rich culture that isn't really showcased or seen where we live in South Florida. So I think it would be a unique experience.
Oh, very unique experience. Yeah. And that's great that you mentioned the Mayan village there. We've worked with them in the past as well. We've had groups do the homestays there. It's and Toledo is amazing because it's still a little bit off the radar, just because it takes so long to get down towards Punta Gorda and all that PG. So I also, where are you from yourself? I hear a little bit of an accent.
I am from Barbados.
You're from Barbados. Okay, great, great. Nice. And did you say that you had a local organization who already put together an itinerary for you?
Yes, so they are called TIDE, TIDE, Belize, and they are like a local nonprofit. They mostly work in like sustainability, but they have like a community engagement piece. And so typically they don't do study abroad trips for sociology, but they were willing to kind of work it in because it could help them to kind of gather information about how the community sees some of their efforts, or like general community attitudes to events that can impact them. So
great. Excellent. Is there we could later we can share the itinerary and all that, but could you give me just a couple examples of some of the day-to-day activities that you guys will be doing?
So let me look at it well. So the first day is really, and you mentioned already, the long drive. So the first day is mostly trying to get down to PG. And they have kind of a stop for lunch along the way, and then kind of like a Belize orientation on that first day. So talking about health and safety on during the activities. And kind of just a briefing of what to expect over the next couple of days. So the first day is more like an orientation. The first full day, or the first 3 full days would be more so being engaged in that social research. So the first day would be kind of like the morning time, students getting together and coming up with a design or a questionnaire design. So some questions. And prior to doing this in class, they would have already had some experience with how to pose a good research question, independent, dependent variables, that type of stuff.
Great.
So here they'll put together a short questionnaire, and then the second part of the day would be something adventurous. So here they have like to go to the Rio Blanco Park for lunch, which is like some small waterfalls. So it's kind of work in the morning, do something fun in the afternoon. The second day they actually go into PG and break into smaller groups with team leaders to speak to community members and collect data for the surveys. So they get to walk around the PG area.
Great.
And then there is supposed to be kind of a special dinner that evening to kind of highlight the Creole culture and do like a drumming lesson, which is part of the Garifuna culture. So they get like Creole food, Garifuna culture with a drumming. Third day is when they've come together with the results of the data that they've collected and kind of look for what are some things that stand out, what are some things that they see that could connect to the class content, and put it together in terms of either like a poster board or just kind of a presentation. Since they broke into smaller groups, a presentation to the larger group. And then after that's complete, then they're supposed to go to Lubantun, which is a Maya ruin in the area. And that would be kind of the first part being geared towards the social research part connected to the sociology class. And then the next couple of days would be geared towards more of the history course. So working with a local school that is associated with Tide, and pretty much just being engaged with the school, sharing the experience of, going to school in the U.S. with students in the local school there.
Great.
And then they head off to the Maya homestay experience, which they'll do for that second day. And then kind of wrapping it up with a fun activity. So Tide actually has a few keys off of PG that they help to maintain and restore. So kind of a boat trip to the keys and kind of doing swimming, beach activities for like a fun reward for the previous day's work.
That, of course, that's an amazing program. How many nights do they stay with the Mayan project?
So far it looks like just overnight for one night. So they're there 2 days, but only spending the night for one.
It's a beautiful program.
I think so too.
Absolutely. Yeah, we always I enjoy getting to meet with professors and go over itineraries like this, because you learn so much, and it's so important to work with local companies on ground who are experts in the field. And so Tide sounds like an excellent option, and we'll definitely, the next time I'm meeting with a sociology professor, we might say, hey, this could be a excellent sample itinerary. Is that is it around an 8-night program, something like that?
It is right now is 7 nights, but I guess depending on if it actually happens, I feel like it has enough flexibility to also be like a 6-night, or be stretched out for an 8-night. But right now is a 7-night.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great. When are you guys planning on offering that program?
I am thinking spring 2020, so spring break 2020 in early March.
That'd be great.
Which is also like an ideal time to go to Belize.
Of course, yeah. That'll fit perfectly in that window, so more of the students will be able to, they don't miss too much time from work or family, and it fits nicely in the spring break window.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, basically, that's a great example of utilizing local on-ground resources, and you did your research. That's perfect. Just for other future professors to know that might watch the video later. That's very important on the SAA side as well, to always find the best local providers on ground that take care, provide you authentic experiences. And that sounds like a very authentic and well-rounded program mixed between the fieldwork research and the cultural recreational activities which you have to do, of course, in Belize,
Yeah, definitely. And since I've been there before, I did the key tour with Tide. So I'm familiar with them from actually doing some of the things with them as well.
Perfect. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck with enrollment. I'm sure that you're going to have a line of students ready to sign up and go.
That is the hope.
Very good. Very good. Well, Violetta.
Yes.
I was going to ask you if because I think Kaya is taken care of here with Tide. If you guys, if you need assistance from Study Abroad Association with airfare or anything like that, then we can always accommodate. But I think that they have you completely covered for the on-ground aspect.
Yes.
Yeah, so perfect. But as I mentioned, if you need assistance with group airfare, things like this, we have flight team dedicated to help you out with that and make sure that works. That we can get you the best flights with what you're looking for.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely. And in the future, if you're ever looking for other destinations for sociology, then we would love to showcase samples for you.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Kaya, you mentioned that you had like some questions about like what happens with participants. I can't remember from the beginning, but you're welcome. I mean, right now you're the only one in attendance, so if you want to ask those questions,
Well,
Essie has led hundreds.
I guess if you have any tips for like enrollment or using because I know how to teach my curriculum and the other co-leader also would as well. But how do you I guess make this study abroad component be more seamless or more better integrated into this?
Okay, while on ground.
Yes, or even prior to on ground. So I guess in my mind, there is a general social course, so you still have to teach the curriculum.
Right.
But do you emphasize more examples based on the place or the region so that you're already kind of priming them, or
Gotcha.
do you stick with the curriculum and then kind of integrate it after the trip?
Gotcha. Yeah, I would say probably a mixture of both. Since the actual hands-on field work is going to be heavily focused on Belize, but at the same time you're still teaching the principles of sociology. What I would suggest, if a professor asked me, the way to lay that out is to have a series of pre-trip sessions, right? Classes. Now, are the students going to be enrolled in a spring course and this is just to complement that course, or is this going to be run as kind of like a special topics, or like a special enrollment type of course?
I think
It's both.
Yeah.
It's kind of both, because it's a regular course that would meet, general educational requirements here in BC, but it does have special enrollment. So the course is only opened for the students that are going in the program.
Okay,
so it's kind of
like
both.
Yeah.
But one of the things is it has to be, the course has to meet, not exactly, but it has to meet all the contact hours
Of
and
course.
all learning outcomes of a regular course on campus. It will just have, but we do ask the professors to give us a new syllabus on how they're going to integrate the place where they're going into their class. So that gives them, Kaya, you definitely can, some travel exercises or assignments or lectures focus on the region where you're going, because that helps the students prepare a little bit better. This is something that we just had a webinar with a company that does cultural integration assessments. And they have
Go Culture.
Go Culture, yes.
Yeah.
So we're trying to see that we can integrate that into our classes. And I think especially for your sociology class, it would be a wonderful option.
Yeah.
I can share that. I mean, we just had a Skype call yesterday. So we'll see where that goes, but I think that's great. And I think you should integrate beforehand assignments, or have the minimum pre-departure number of meetings that a faculty-led program has to have is 1, but I think we need more. I mean, because besides the class, the academic class of it, you need a separate session to prepare the students for where they're going, to talk about cultural adaptation, and then the one that you have with me, which is the mandatory one, is more safety and security and things like that. I do go over cultural adaptation, but it's 1 or 2 slides.
Okay.
So it should be, And sometimes you can integrate it into class time, and sometimes the students, if they're participating in this program, they have to schedule like a Friday, 2 hours on a Friday from 10 to 12 or things like that. So we go over just part of the trip.
Okay.
It's a good
Now,
idea.
I think it would be fairly easy to integrate it into the curriculum. I just kind of wanted to know what is like more standard to do.
What I was going to give you an example, Kai. What I've noticed a lot of professors do that works nicely is they'll have kind of maybe 3 pre-trip sessions, each one around 2 hours or something like this, depending on what you can do. And a lot of professors will even host it similar to this, like a Zoom meeting, right? So the students can join, or like kind of if it's an online course. Then obviously you have throughout the program while you're there during the week, they're going to have their morning sessions where they're putting together the projects, and then they're going to have their afternoon times where they're going and they're interviewing local people, collecting their data. And then you could have, to make sure that you completely satisfy all your hours, you could have the post trip. And the post trip's really good because there can be additional presentations, and you could do like another 3 post trip, right? So you do 3 pre-trip, 3 post trip, and it's really good time to be able to get feedback, surveys, all that kind of information, and then take all that into consideration when you plan your program for the following year, for example. You can make any tweaks, modifications, and then with the 3 at the beginning, the 3 after, for example, and then everything that happens during that week in the middle, you easily hit those 48 contact hours. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any other general questions about I'll send you over a slide presentation. It's the one. Normally, if we have more people that join, I'll actually go through like a slide presentation. But now that we're here one-on-one, it's better like this. But I'll send that over to you as well. There's a lot of tips for how to increase participation and ideas and things like this that you might find helpful. Okay.
And then, just out of curiosity, what operator do you usually use for Belize? Or do you have someone already?
Yeah, so we have a team of on ground team of guides, and they're licensed. So Jonathan, Ronnie, Gabrielle. We have in total about 5, and they're all local, licensed, full-time freelance guides that lead all the tours. But then they have different backgrounds. Some are in biology, some are in archaeology. We normally don't go with the bigger operators because it tends to be more expensive. So what we do is we hire the freelance guides that we've already been working with for years down there. And then so that's how we do it. If it is a company that we would work with, Maya Walks out of San Ignacio is excellent.
Yeah, I know of them.
Okay, so normally, like, we have groups that will go down to Toledo and PG area for like biology groups, but we do most of our work in San Ignacio. Yeah, in Cayo. So because there you have the mixture of all of the Mayan ruins, as well as from there we work with a lot of local elementary schools in San Ignacio and the Cornerstone Foundation. So that's kind of what we use as a hub. And then we do a mixture. We go down to Hopkins as well for the Griffin culture. And then, of course, out to the Keys for if they're doing marine biology and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll definitely look into Tide. The itinerary sounds great. And, it'd be nice to have somebody down in PG to use as a resource.
Yeah. They also have their own housing, which is pretty good too.
Great. I'll take that. Well, thank you for sharing and meeting. And if you have any questions for us about anything ever, I'm always happy to get together and do this. This is my passion. So, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Okay. It's lovely meeting you, and good luck with your program promotion, and enjoy your trip in Belize.
Thank you.
Okay. Cool. All right. Have a lovely weekend.
You too.
Violetta.
Thanks for coming, Kaya.
No problem. Bye.
I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Have a lovely weekend.
Sorry, you were frozen there for a second, Violetta. I thought I'd lost you.
Oh, no. I'm here. I'm here.
Well, she's lovely. That's a great program.
Yeah, she's the one that I told you, like she had, the itinerary and what I was trying to help